Today, we're at the intersection here of manufacturing. Surprise, surprise, right? We're always on the topic of manufacturing. And as I've mentioned and even put out a piece last week, manufacturing isn't the only competitive advantage you can have as a healthcare sector company or player. Computational capacity and data infrastructure are additionally needed to, one, innovate, and two, keep up with demand from the manufacturing side, but also the operational side and et cetera. Biotech is going more in silico. That has been a trend, but now you have to have data infrastructure. And right now, there's a great example of private equity's foray into life sciences continuing to accelerate. And in particular, Blackstone's latest acquisition of a Japanese company called CMIC company. And this makes a strategic move into the market that's defined by demographic shifts, regulatory reforms, and an evolving pharmaceutical ecosystem. This isn't just another buyout, as is typically the case for deals that we choose to run through. This is a calculated entry into a critical pain point in global drug development. And that is, for those of us who have followed the FDA and drug processes in Europe, Japan, their historical drug lag. Blackstone has secured around a 60% stake in CMIC, who are a contract research organization with deep-rooted expertise in navigating Japan's complex clinical trial landscape. So what's the rationale? Why Blackstone? Well, the regulatory environment is shifting, no doubt. Historically, Japan's approval process has delayed drug availability by an average of 1.3 years compared to the US and Europe. That's a lot of time that patients aren't able to receive your product. And frankly, time is money in biotech, so that also creates a lot of inefficiency. And this is now being addressed, which opens opportunities for capital and operational investment. So if you're a private equity firm who have expertise in the healthcare sector, Japan right now, as well as Asia, but South and Southeast Asia and Japan, those three, in my mind, are incredibly fruitful geographies, demographics, if you were, for value creation. So we all know Blackstone, and we also know that they're already a player in drug development, specifically late stage, and that's through their life sciences fund, among other vehicles. And they're positioning itself as a conduit for accelerating drug entry into the Japanese market. Now, Japan has a very robust and stringent regulatory environment for drugs, and it's actually a great market to run trials in. So this opens up a really accretive market for Blackstone in some of their own companies, as well as companies of CMIC, or clients of CMIC. This really has the potential to drive tremendous revenue upside. And this acquisition aligns with broader trend in private equity, and that's the convergence of financial engineering and operational expertise in pharma services. So we've seen Bain Capital take a similar approach, and in that case, it was with Mitsubishi Tanabe Pharma, and in parallel, Blackstone recently privatized IROM Group, which is another Japanese CRO. So it's not Blackstone's first foray into Japan, but the strategy is clear, and that strategy is aggregation, optimization, and ultimately value creation through scale and efficiency. But the real question is, what's next? So Blackstone has signaled an intention to drive inorganic growth through further acquisitions in pharmaceutical services. And this likely builds on an integrated clinical and regulatory platform in Japan. And we've discussed India, we've discussed South Asia in prior videos, but this robust Japan opportunity is really materializing with Blackstone at the center. And look, there's probably an IPO exit strategy, and that typically is within 5 years. So we can expect a lot of operational restructuring, and through that would be technology-driven efficiencies and potential collaboration with global biopharma partners, which both are very plausible and most likely have already had a lot of discussions therein. So look, private equity isn't just chasing returns in healthcare. I can't speak to other sectors right now, but in healthcare, it's reshaping infrastructure of drug development itself. So Blackstone's move underscores a deeper thesis, capitalizing on regulatory arbitrage, demographic inevitabilities, and structural inefficiencies in clinical research. As Japan, and as Japan's healthcare market continues to evolve, they're a very tech savvy crowd, and we can expect to see more deals that blend scientific necessity with financial acumen.